Good morning, everybody, and happy Monday to you. I hope you all found your way here. I have a little glitch with my links and going live this morning. So I see some of you saying hello in the comments. If you guys could just continue to say hi there, just to make sure that I'm in the right place and you're in the right place. I see we've got Mary here and Laura, Linda. We've got MC in Lunenburg, Nova Scotia. Celeste is here, Deborah is here, Holly's saying hello, and Lydia and Karen, which is fantastic. So thank you all so much for joining me for today's Creative Manifesto session. So for those of you that have not joined before, this session is really meant to serve as kind of a monthly exercise for all of us to set some intentions and some creative goals for the month. So we do this every month on the first Monday of the month so we can kick off a new week and a new month with some creative goals. And I see we've got Erin and Mary, Crystal, Nancy, Devin's here, Brand Art Yoga is here. So for those of you that are here and tuning in, I just want to ask that you have a sketchbook or something to write with handy. Maybe some notebook paper or a post-it note, but I do recommend putting this in a sketchbook if you can, this exercise that we're going to do together. So a creative manifesto for us here at Sketchbook School is really just a fancy word for kind of setting a goal and an intention for the month. And right now, I think things are kind of up in the air and a lot of us feel sort of aimless. So it's really good to sort of think about and reflect on things that you want to accomplish this month. And it's also a good time to be kind to yourself and be gentle to yourself when it comes to expectations. So the idea behind this is to just give us all a little bit of space to set some goals or even just pick a theme for the next month in what we want to do creatively and also in our lives. So more of you are hopping in. We've got Cassandra, which is great. Kat and Gina are here. Yash is in India, where it's 8:30 p.m. Good little way to cap off the evening. And Cindy is also here, and Carol. Yulia is here from LA, which is fantastic, bright and early for Yulia. So I just want to show you a couple examples of what a creative manifesto can look like. And then we'll do the exercise together, and you're going to actually do one for yourself. But for some students, they will pick either a word or a theme to focus on for their creative manifesto. So this was Luz's version, and she actually wrote a little bit more and did some little illustrations for hers. And sometimes you can also outline specific goals that you might have. You can also just give yourself a quote or a theme. So Kim actually shared this in the schoolyard today because she couldn't make it for the live session. So she did her May manifesto on her own, and she stuck with the mantra, keep it simple, maybe stupid, maybe something else for that last S, but just a reminder to keep things simple and not overcomplicate them. Another example, Jesus, who's actually here in the chat, which is awesome. She did this version for the month of April, so this is just an example. And she actually gave herself some words to really think about and to kind of focus on for the month of April. So for those of you that are here, and I see we've got Jackie checking in, another Gina, Paula from Brazil, and Robin is also here from North Georgia, which I bet it's beautiful there in the mountains. So for all of you that are here, I want you to think about a word or a theme that you're going to focus on for the month of May. And what I want you to do is take your sketchbook, whatever sketchbook you're currently working in. For me, I'm using a Stillman and Byrne beta series. And I want you to take your sketchbook, or any sketchbook, it could be a brand new one, and I want you to find just a random page. So just pick a blank page. So for me, this is about 2/3 of the way through. But I want you to find a page that's a little bit later in your sketchbook. And the purpose of this is that we're going to actually put our creative manifesto on this page. And the idea is that we will actually come across this, in a few weeks or a few days, depending on where you put it. And it kind of pops up as a little surprise reminder of the things that you set forth and intended to do at the start of the month. And I love hearing from students that do this and that come upon that page kind of in a moment where they really needed it. It sort of just found them. And I love the idea that you can kind of write a letter to your future self in a way in doing this exercise. So what we're going to do is I want you to get your sketchbook. I want you to get a pen or something that's fun to write with. I'm going to use a brush pen because I've been really into those lately. Tombow brush pen. And I'm actually going to set a timer for us to work with. So what I want you to think about is you can either pick a theme or a word that you want to focus on, or you can write a little bit more specifically and write out some goals that you might have for the month. So whether it's practice more portraits or draw every day for 10 minutes. You could come up with some more specific goals if that kind of works for your brain, or you can identify one word or a theme to focus on. Totally up to you. And we're going to do this together, and I want you to go to that page in your sketchbook. Excuse me, got a little frog. I want you to go to that page in your sketchbook, and I'm going to start our timer. And I know that 4 minutes is going to go by really fast, but this will actually just give you a moment to start this exercise, and you can revisit it and kind of embellish your lettering, add color. I'm going to show you these examples again. Sometimes people go back and do little illustrations. You can do anything that you want, but I'm going to start us off with a 4-minute timer, which you might not be able to see, and I'm going to hit start, and I want you all to have your pen and your sketchbook out, and we can write out these goals and words together. And Devin's asking, do reminders count too? Yes, reminders for things that you want to do this month or accomplish this month. That's a perfect thing to put in your creative manifesto. So for all of you that are here with me right now, I want you to take out your sketchbook, and I'm going to start the timer. And then when this is up, I would love to hear from some of you in the chat. We can kind of regroup and see what all of you have been sharing for your creative manifestos. And I would love if you share them in the schoolyard as well. We have a topic for this. It's creative manifestos. And it's a really nice way to kind of hold yourself accountable. So usually when I write out these focuses or these themes, it's really nice to return to at the end of the month and think about, okay, did I accomplish this? Did I focus on these, intentions? And I think it's just a really nice exercise. So I'm going to hit start, and you'll hear a beep. And so what I want you to do is return to your sketchbook, whatever page you landed on. And for me, I'm going to pick a focus word. Because when I outline specific goals, especially right now, I tend to get kind of overwhelmed and stressed out by them. So I'm going to stick with a theme or focus word, because that's kind of just what I'm feeling right now. And you can make these as literal as you want, or they can be a little more metaphorical. Create space was the last month's manifesto for myself, and that was really just about giving myself space to allow for mistakes, allow for days when I just don't feel like drawing, and that's okay. So creating space was something that I focused on last month. So you can come up with whatever you want, whatever you feel like will serve you the most right now. And I want you to put it on that sketchbook page while our timer is going. And you can use fun lettering for this. You can add color later. You can come back to this or spend a little more time on it. But I like to usually just start with a splashy, bold word or theme. So that's what I'm going to do. For those of you that are just joining us, we are putting down our creative manifestos on a random page in our sketchbooks that we will come to in the coming weeks as we complete drawings in our sketchbooks. So it kind of pops up as a nice surprise reminder. And you can come back, as I said, and add, illustrations or fancy lettering. Whatever feels good to you. And I also think this is a nice thing to do at the start of a month because it kind of just gets you set up to start the month off on the right foot. And Jan is popping in from Nova Scotia, where it's raining. Jan, we are just writing our creative manifestos, our themes for the month, in our sketchbooks on a random page, kind of in the future. And we have about 1.5 minutes left on the timer. So that's where we're at right now. Corinne is also just checking in. Corinne, we are got our timer going. Got about a minute left, and we are writing down our theme and our focus, whatever we have personally, for the month of May in our sketchbooks. And you can do these in fancy lettering, you can do them in normal lettering, whatever you feel like doing. And you can come back, add color, kind of make them a nice little note that you will happen upon in a couple weeks or in a couple days. And for some of you that like to keep this stuff more top of mind, you can actually put it on something that you display next to your computer or at your work table. But for me, I really like doing this in a sketchbook because it always comes up as a nice surprise when I finally reach that page. And it's a good time to kind of check in with yourself. It looks like Nancy and Marnie are checking in. For those of you that are just getting here, we are writing out our theme and our focus for the month of May on a later page in our sketchbook so that we may happen upon it in a few days or a week or two, and it'll act as a nice little reminder for us. Oh, and that's our timer. Those 4 minutes always go by so fast. So for me, I just started my page, and I did make time is something that I want to focus on. Doris, no worries if you're late. You can definitely still do this exercise. But I'm really curious for those of you that did this, if you can share in the chat, what kind of manifestos did you come up with for the month of May? So mine was make time, and I put this kind of in the middle of this sketchbook. And I think for me, now that we're all spending a lot more time at home, I feel like I'm always, striving to work on projects or tackle my to-do list or stay caught up at work, my day job, which is sketchbook school, and keep on top of things. But sometimes I forget to just make time for art, even when I'm at home and, there's 1,000 things to do around the house. It's kind of easy to let that slide. And sometimes I think I just need a reminder that it's okay to take a half hour out of my day and do nothing but doodle in my sketchbook. So it looks like some of you are coming up with words and themes. Gina is focusing on discipline, which is a great word to kind of keep in mind as we are, at home and trying to keep on top of things, keep track of the days and whatnot. So Gina, that's great. Becky Terry is wanting to focus on Draw Tip Tuesday. So that's another fun thing you can do, is use this as an opportunity to assign yourself kind of a mini challenge. So Becky is going to focus on our weekly Draw Tip Tuesdays, which is awesome. It looks like Karen is using the words discover, play, create, and share to guide her, which I love because it involves sharing. And we love seeing everyone else's work, at sketchbook school. Start with art first thing in the morning. That's good because it has a rhyme, so maybe it'll really stick for Holly. I love it. We've also got Jan's, which is believe in the work. So that's a really good mantra to kind of focus on. What else do we have? Erin Marie is feel free to have fun. I think fun and play are things that we should keep in mind, especially when the news and current events are not very reassuring or uplifting. So feel free to have fun is a really great reminder. Catherine is focusing on finishing things. So the word completion, to start and finish things. And I think this is a good reminder for those of us that like to work on a lot of projects all at once. Sometimes it feels good to just completely knock something out. So Catherine, I love that. I could definitely relate to that. What else do we have? You guys are coming up with some great ones. Corinne is working on acceptance. Cindy, the joy of creating. Gina is focusing on persistence. MC is focusing on committing. So to commit, whether to a creative habit or, just an overall sort of way to approach your day. Devin's still thinking, and Yulia is to make botanical art every day. So she's going to focus on some specific projects that are challenging her right now. And I love that. Jesus is writing that she's going to fall in love. A prayer by a Jesuit priest that's going to kind of guide her mentality, which is great. Marnie is saying, may the art be with you on May the 4th, which is very appropriate. I love it. Marnie, thank you for that reminder of this Star Wars holiday. And then Paula is saying, Viva a arte, which she's Brazilian. And I assume she could say that a lot nicer in Portuguese with a really cool accent that I am butchering. But Paula, thank you for sharing that with us. And it looks like you all have a lot of themes and intentions for the month of May. And thank you for sharing those with us. I hope that you all can return to this page. I hope it finds you when you need it. And if you want, you can even add a little dog-eared corner so that you can revisit it on your own when you need a little reminder. So thank you so much for tuning in. And I would love for you to share these in the schoolyard once you go back and kind of doctor up your page if you want. Maybe add color, add some fun little illustrations or doodles. But I can't wait to see it. And I will see you all back here for this same exercise next month, the first Monday of every month. And we also have a few live drawing events happening this week as per usual with Danny and Kosha, also with myself. So keep an eye on the events tab in the schoolyard and keep an eye on our YouTube channel and subscribe for notifications so that you get notified whenever we go live. It's been such a blessing to hang out with all of you and make art together. And I'm just really appreciative of all of you guys showing up and being vulnerable. So thanks for sharing, and I hope that you have an awesome rest of your day or evening, and a happy Monday to all of you. So thank you.